There are over 207 million creators worldwide, yet only 4% of them make over 100K per year. And we're going to call that the 4% club. In this video, I'm going to show you how to become part of the 4% club. But before I do that, when I saw the statistic, I said, okay, I got to dive deeper. If only 4% of creators are making over 100K per year, how many of them are making a living wage? And a living wage today in the United States is considered between $40,000 per year to $45,000 per year. Now, I live in New York City. If you're making $45,000 per year, you simply just can't live here, right? But assuming that this is the living wage, which is pretty low, I looked into how many creators out of this 207 million are making between $40,000 to $45,000 per year. And the number is 43%, which means most people in the creator space currently are not making a living wage. So in this video, I want to dive into how to become part of this 4% club. And I think to start, we have to actually dive into why people are not part of this 4% club. And to do that, we're going to dive into this idea that I call the big audience trap. And this is a belief that most creators fall into when they first get into the space. And that is the belief that if I just build a big audience, the money will follow. And nothing could be further from the truth, but it's easy to believe this. There's this thing called the spotlight illusion. We assume that if we get attention, influence, authority, and income will follow. We see people that are famous, that are doing well, and we assume that, hey, if I just get a little bit of that slice of attention, the same will happen for me. But nothing could be farther from the truth. And to illustrate that, I'm going to dive into this framework that I created called the Creator Positioning Pyramid. And I'm going to show you why most creators that are here are kind of sad and broke. Okay. But before we do that, we actually have to define this word. What is positioning? So positioning is simply the deliberate act, meaning you're intentionally doing this, of defining the category that you're going to play in, the audience that you're going to serve, and the value that you're going to deliver. See, most people that come into the creator space, they never do this. They just focus on building an audience, right? So positioning is not about how many people see you, but it's more so about how people see you. Now, the important thing about positioning is that it is something that you can and should influence. And effectively positioning yourself is how you go from being one of many creators to the only one. And the moment this happens and you effectively position yourself using the creator positioning pyramid, you unlock so many monetization opportunities. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the creator positioning pyramid. And this is a framework that you can utilize to guide yourself through understanding where you're at and the different opportunities that are available to you at that level. So at the base level, you're just a creator. And there are, again, millions of creators on the internet. People might consume your content. People might save your content. They might share it. They'll like it. Maybe they'll even follow you. You can build a very big audience at the creator level. But just because you're a creator and you create good content doesn't mean that you'll make money. Your monetization opportunities at the creator level are pretty limited. Here, you essentially have the opportunity to work with brands. So you have access to brand deals. And if you're creating on a platform like YouTube and you do build an audience, you have access to ad revenue. And that's kind of it at this level. If you try to create and sell your own things, it's going to be very hard because you're just someone on the internet, right? Now, if you do make this jump from creator to an expert, now you start unlocking a lot of different monetization opportunities. Now you can sell coaching, you can sell consulting, you can launch a mastermind. You could sell things like ebooks, services. And just making this jump alone will unlock a 7-figure business, whether it's a service business, a product, an info business. But at the creator level, if you stay stuck at this creator level, it's going to be very hard to do that, to get control over your income. Now, beyond that, you can make the next jump, which is to become an authority. And authorities are essentially the people that experts learn from. As an authority, your monetization opportunities also expand. You have the ability to charge higher prices for your services. People have less resistance to paying you for that. And you can run masterminds, you can run live events, you unlock things like book deals, podcast appearances, events, all kinds of things. And if you do decide to go here, although you don't need to, you essentially become a mainstream name. Here you could think of someone like Alex Hormozi, Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins, and you essentially become a household name. The higher that you go up this pyramid, the easier it becomes to monetize. And let's talk a little bit about that. So the better your positioning is, the more monetization opportunities that become available to you. But also this thing starts to happen where when you start improving your positioning and climbing this positioning pyramid, you, in a way, become magnetic. People start coming to you. The lower that you are on this pyramid, the more effort, the more force, the more energy that you're going to have to put into doing whatever it is that you're doing to make money. But the higher you are, again, opportunities start coming to you. People say, hey, will you come on my podcast? People will reach out and say, hey, can I work with you? But more importantly, the easier it will be to charge higher prices for your services. So let's talk about what you need to do at each level of this positioning pyramid to get to the next level. So we'll start from going from an aspiring creator to creator. So here, essentially, we're going from 0 to creator. And to make that jump, you first want to clarify the brand that you want to build. A lot of people just kind of wing this part of the process, but you actually want to get clear on, hey, who is this for? You essentially want to answer these 3 questions that we have here. What is the category that you're going to play in? Who is the audience that you're going to serve? And what is the value that you're going to deliver? So you want to get clear on those things, and you want to start creating content consistently. Going from 0 to creator is all about acquiring skills and skill development. It is through creating consistently that you will learn how to create content, how to talk to the camera, how to edit videos, how to craft the messages that will actually resonate with the audience that you're trying to reach. And lastly, this is how you will develop a recognizable style. And this is very important, that you have a style that is unique and authentic to you, that allows you to stand out amongst the 207 million creators that are publishing daily. So once you've established yourself as a creator, the next jump is going from creator to expert. And here you really want to say, hey, I'm going to become known for solving a very specific problem. And this is what makes you an expert. Ideally, you want people to, when they think of your name, think of the problem that you solve. Okay? And after you've committed to solving a problem and becoming the go-to person, if you think about like every single person on social media that you probably follow, they're known for something. Whether it is Grant Cardone, real estate, Gary Vaynerchuk, social media, Tony Robbins, personal development, they're all known for something. So once you commit to that, you want to commit to mastery of your craft. But you can't fake expertise. For you to actually be able to build a business, you actually got to be able to help people. Matter of fact, I actually believe that the universe is always working in our favor and will place people that can help us in our path. And if we're experts and we want the universe to place us on the path of somebody that we can help, we got to actually be able to help them. So I think energetically, there is something that's going on there too when it comes to actually being good and being able to deliver the result. essentially solve the problem that you've committed to solving. And in order to build the expert brand, you want to show the world that you are an expert. And to do that, you're going to package your insights into content that people can digest. You ideally learn how to do that, going from aspiring creator to creator. So it's just a matter of doing that and getting better at doing that over time. And I think the part that a lot of people miss when it comes to building an expert personal brand, and one of the most important parts, is leveraging proof. If I tell you that I'm an expert, I'm asking you to take me at my word that I'm an expert. But if I showed you, hey, here's this person that I've helped, and here's what they have to say about how I helped them, and here's this other person and this other person, it's undeniable that if I've helped those people with the same problem that you're experiencing, that I can help you. So proof changes everything. Proof is really how you cement your expert positioning. So you want to make sure that as you start to help people, that you're creating case studies, that you're leveraging testimonials, telling stories that show other people that you're helping other people. Okay? Now, in order to go from expert to authority, before I tell you about that, let me tell you about this cool resource that both Brad and I put together. It's a 1-hour training and a 32-page workbook that will help you establish yourself as an expert, as an authority in your space. You can get this resource below this video. It's very in-depth, and the workbook has a ton of exercises to help you get clear on how to do this and put a plan together to bridge that gap from being a creator to actually showing up as an expert, an authority, even a celebrity, if that's something that you're interested in. Although, let me actually just make a point on that. I genuinely think if you're a creator, you should just focus on establishing yourself as an expert. I think establishing yourself as an authority is probably something that's a couple years away if you're at this level. And you don't need to become a celebrity, although if you want to, you absolutely can, and you will experience and reap the benefits of doing that and establishing yourself as a celebrity in your space. But I just want to reiterate this, just establishing yourself as an expert will unlock a 7-figure business for you. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about what you have to do to go from expert to authority. So to go from expert to authority, you want to start leaning into this thing called thought leadership. And that's essentially leading your field with new ideas. You want to become the person that experts look up to and learn from. Doing this is going to involve you actually thinking and writing and putting your own frameworks together, like this framework of the creative positioning pyramid, right? That's an idea that you probably haven't heard before. That's what thought leadership looks like. And more that you establish yourself as an authority, the more magnetic that you become to attracting the same opportunities that you'd attract as an expert, and the more that you can charge for your services. You also want to launch positioning assets. What's a positioning asset? Think of them as lead magnets, trainings, workshops, things that show other people that, hey, I'm not just an expert, I'm actually an authority. A book is a positioning asset. A podcast is a positioning asset. A live event is a positioning asset. So you want to be strategic about these things. And really, I think the thing that makes a difference here is focusing on long form content. So things like books, YouTube videos, blogs, podcasts, workshops, events, mediums where people get to spend enough time with you for you to actually be able to show them that you're not just another expert, okay? So lastly, if you want to make the jump from authority to celebrity, what you want to do at this level is you want to start amplifying your brand across platforms. So instead of just creating, let's say, on Instagram, and now you start redistributing or creating content for LinkedIn, TikTok, not Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Threads, right? You want to start expanding your sphere of influence. You want to start creating content that will reach a wider demographic in different mediums. So for example, if you're a business expert, you might go on a podcast about mindset, where you're sharing your business expertise or thoughts about mindset on this personal development podcast, right? And that starts to allow you to reach a wider demographic. And you want to lean into visibility plays, right? So things like going on the podcast rounds, working with PR agents to book you on publications, maybe going on live television, all of these things that will allow you to expand your authority, your visibility beyond just being an expert or an authority. So I generally believe people getting stuck at the creator level is why they're not making the money that they want to be making. It's why they're not part of this 4% club. And if you're someone that wants to be part of this 4% club, focus on leveling up your positioning. And again, I just want to remind you, I have an amazing resource in the description of this video that will show you exactly how to do that.